RDC meeting. Let's rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Carnahan is absent. Mr. Foreman?
Present.
Ms. Rivera is absent. Mr. Miller?
Present.
Mr. Sheehan? Here. Mr. Sharp?
Here.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Present.
Mr. Vick?
Here.
Mr. Burnham?
Let's note for the record that he is present via Zoom and we're working on seeing his face.
I was going to say he's unmuted, so I don't know if maybe he clicked something else and can't hear us right now. Mr. Spencer?
Here.
Mr. Hunley?
Here.
Mr. Kapora? My apologies, I'm having issues.
That's all right.
Mr. Parker is not present, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mrs. Detfauer? Present. I am present. Mr. Sladek?
Present.
Ms. Abernathy? Present. David Austin?
Present.
Mr. Austin, sorry. It's been a day, folks. Apologies.
You want to do the RDC meeting first? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, you let me know.
We could,
Joint meeting first?
joint meeting first?
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mr. Niemeyer.
Let the record show that there is a quorum present for the Cedar Lake Town Council, the Cedar Lake Planning Commission, and the Cedar Lake Redevelopment Commission. We start with public comment on agenda items. Second call. Third call, anything online?
No hands are raised.
Thank you. New business is Redevelopment Commission actions. Mr. Viss.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it, Mr. Niemeyer. First, we have Redevelopment Commission Action RDC Resolution Number 2022-05-RDC, a resolution of the Redevelopment Commission approving amendments to the declaratory resolution and economic development plan. We do have a quorum from the RDC that is present. Online, we have Attorney Phil Facenda, and Mr. Austin is here as well. Would you like to share with us the guts of this motion, Mr. Austin?
With a little background, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. This matter is before this body now, this combined body, as a consequence of directions very early this year for the staff review and assessment of the TIF parcels within the current town consolidated 133rd TIF district and adjacent and nearby parcels to determine a couple things. One, whether those parcels were suitable and appropriate in the TIF district as constituted. Two, what the impact was if they were not. And three, any recommendations pertaining to readjustment or massaging of the consolidated TIF district. We called this project for months the TIF audit, if you will. Well, that led to a deeper dive, as we reported to you monthly for the past handful of months, that in fact an analysis was going on about the value of those TIF parcels, while at the same time completion by the town council of annexation of adjacent parcels, particularly and notably in the South Route 41 area of the community, had occurred. So in combination with the assessment of the TIF parcels, value, etc., the analysis of impact and benefit of additional TIF expansion into a new TIF district, which we will call, and you will see in your documents, Route 41 South TIF District, was appropriate. What you have before you tonight is a resolution that declares the intent to amend or adjust the current consolidated 133rd Avenue TIF District based upon recommendation from the town's financial advisor, Corby Thompson, who worked with Attorney Facenda, myself, and your staff, Chris, and his team to assess and analyze. So the recommendation that begins tonight's meeting is for your consideration of this first resolution that is an amendatory resolution. Your authority for doing this, you can always change and amend the district, you follow the provisions of Indiana Code 36-7-14, and you begin the process by declaring the intent to do so. Later on, you can see this is a multifaceted, multi-body meeting. There are other participant bodies of town government that are required to follow through on this initiative, if you will, to the ultimate end of approval, if appropriate and deemed appropriate, by the town council. The information about the TIF district benefit and analysis and amending, again, comes from our financial advisors, and the declaration of intent to clean up that and amend that is the beginning of the process. There will be a public hearing. That will be down the path here next month. It's on a timetable calendar to be next month, and it will follow and conform to law. That's the first resolution, not in a small bite, but in conformance with statute.
Well said, Mr. Austin. There was good brevity there and a good overview.
Thank you.
Just as a quick follow-up as well, one of the reasons why we engaged in this was to, in essence, take out those parcels that we perceived were a drag on our ability to collect. And I know Corby and his team has done yeoman's work along with staff. Appreciate it, Chris, to you and team, for the past couple of months in Mr. Austin's office as well. And we here in the town are only going to reap the benefits of that as we are enabled to collect more within the redevelopment area. With that being said, I will entertain a motion to approve RDC Resolution Number 2022-05-RDC. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I second it.
It's support. Discussion.
How many parcels did we actually remove? Total number? I was trying to look at the map here, I couldn't see them all.
I'm going to guess a lot, but Chris?
Yeah, I don't have that number count, but it was several dozen.
Do we know what the total value or negative draw of that was?
Approximately $80,000 to $90,000.
Just for everybody, this is Phil Facenda from Barton Thornburg. I think you're looking at, if you look at Exhibit B of the resolution, it looks like there's 44 parcels that we're talking about.
Got it.
And I do know that Corby is on. I see his cell phone number on here, so he's on audio. In the event, Corby, if you can hear and can add what the financial impact is.
Yeah, just to touch on that, essentially we have parcels within the redevelopment area where they have negative AV, and we have to essentially restore those AVs. So they're parcels of AV losers that we have to restore with captured assessed value within the district. And because we have to do that, we're essentially missing out on about $85,000 in TIF revenues, based on at least the pay 2022 numbers. So by removing those parcels, we should see a revenue increase of about $85,000 there.
Excellent. And Corby, that's going to take effect in 2024? Is that when we'll see that benefit?
Phil, I believe this will be for 2023, correct? Or
I think that's right. I think that's right, 2023.
Any other questions for Corby or anyone else online or anyone else in the room?
Great.
Hearing none, roll call please.
Mr. Hunley?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham? You need to unmute yourself.
Is that his picture there?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he finally got it out.
Yes. Here we go.
Mr.
Yes. All right, let the record reflect vote 5-0. Next, we have number 2, RDC Resolution Number 2022-06-RDC. This is an amendment to amend the geographic scope of our TIF area. Mr. Austin, if you can explain, please.
This resolution trails the one you just finished by virtue of providing a continuity of the expansion of the TIF district in areas where it is susceptible of commercial and industrial development. In particular, this resolution addresses the establishment of an economic development area and TIF district in the area of 3 parcels that have been annexed into the town this year and have been approved for land use, 2 of them, the third on the way. Because of the annexation perfection in that third one, it fits right into this procedure under law. So what you will see, and I think I added them up to be 46 or 48 acres, plus or minus, that will be added to an independent TIF district and will be able to generate increment that will permit improvements to that area of the community, which are absolutely foreseeable and which will benefit the ultimate infrastructure and uses of the town in those regards. The 3 parcels, 2 of them are, as I indicate, moving along and pulling permits. The third right behind them. So this was logical to your staff and your consultants, and as we reported, we brought this in contemporaneously with your consideration of the first. They'll go piggyback to each other. They will not be connected, though. They will be separate TIF districts.
Any questions from the commission?
Mr. Chairman, if I might make a correction for the record or a note for the record.
Go ahead.
I think it would be prudent that we read the title of item 1, the RDC resolution number 2022-05-RDC into the record, at least the title. Would it please the chair if I did that?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Resolution number 2022-05-RDC is a resolution of the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana Redevelopment Commission approving amendments to the declaratory resolution and consolidated economic development plan for the consolidated Cedar Lake 133rd Avenue economic development area and all matters related thereto. And that was the item number 1 that was affirmatively approved by a vote of 5-0.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
That's an excellent catch. Thank you, Randy. You would direct the clerk treasurer as recording secretary tonight to interlineate that in the proper place.
And why don't we tackle resolution 2022-06-RDC, a resolution of the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana Redevelopment Commission declaring an area in the town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana as an economic development area, approving an economic development plan for said area and all matters related thereto. Any additional comments from Phil, Corby, Chris as to this second resolution?
Mr. Chairman, I have one more.
Go ahead.
This adoption, if in fact effectuated, will give the town the entire clock, if you will, under the statute, 25 years, which will be of incredible value as you look to utilize the funds from a TIF district distribution for what's, again, self-evident in the area.
I would agree. Absolutely.
One item that I will note, sometimes it is said that government moves slow, and I think this is a clear example of all hands on deck here in Cedar Lake, ensuring that properties were timely admitted in the quickest process possible for annexation, as well as the whole comprehensive review that was done to evaluate the value add this was going to give. So kudos to everyone involved, both online as well as sitting in this room, for making this happen. By this point, I mean, we've got 2 months to spare, so to speak, before the end of the year, and we've got some breathing room, so kudos.
That's a lifetime in lawyer life.
All right, if there's no more discussion, we'll entertain a roll call, please.
Hold on, we need a motion.
Oh, sorry, I almost skipped that. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Any further discussion?
Wait, I didn't catch who the second was made by.
It was made by Doug Jim.
Or Jim
Tie.
Are we giving it to Mr. Spencer?
Mr. Spenceley.
They want to arm wrestle over it?
I heard Doug Spencer.
Can't talk louder.
That's right.
Discussion.
Go ahead.
So a matter of making a note here for the future is, as the current 133rd Avenue Economic Development Area, the TIF district, comes to its sunset. Notice a part of that 133rd Avenue TIF district encompasses US 41. Last year, we updated our comprehensive master plan to include a US 41 B3 overlay district. So what we can do once that first TIF district sunsets is allow the time to elapse, and then we can consolidate that 41 corridor into this new TIF district that we now have the foundation set for. So that gives us the building blocks for the next TIF district once the sunset is hit on the first one. Thank you.
Good point. Mr. Niemeyer, what's the date when the existing one will sunset? Do you have another date?
29?
Okay,
7 years.
so we can capture, good.
Yeah, so we can capture a good 16 years worth of increment off of, 16 or 17 years of increment off of that current part of the 133rd Avenue TIF district that encompasses some of 41. So we anticipate there to be a good bit of commercial development along 41 over that next decade that's going to help us set baseline AVs to be able to capture the maximum increment.
Excellent. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, roll call.
Mr. Hunley.
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Mr. Burnham.
Yes.
Mr. Viss.
Yes, for the record, passes 5-0. And now we'll pass the meeting on to the Planning Commission.
Good evening. Plan Commission Resolution Number 2022-1, a resolution of the Plan Commission approving amendments to the declaratory resolutions and economic development plan. Town of Cedar Lake, County, Indiana, Plan Commission Resolution Number 2022-1, a resolution of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, Plan Commission approving a resolution of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, Redevelopment Commission approving amendments to the declaration resolution and consolidated economic development plan for the consolidated Cedar Lake 133rd Avenue economic development area and taking all other actions related thereto.
Mr. President. John,
What?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. May I?
I didn't hear that part.
I have something to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Thanks.
Sorry. Very nice.
Plan commissioners probably wonder why they're here. We've done this before a couple times, but the reason you're here is because the statute identifies and recognizes you as the body charged with orderly growth and development in our town, our master plan, and our planning function. So as such, the sequence of approval or considerations this evening by you falls in line directly with the statutory outline and the path. You will be followed in this with the town council and then back to the redevelopment commission in a month for end adoption perhaps. But the reason you're here is to keep the matter moving under the statute and to maintain orderly assessment and concept of the growth and development of the community. So it's an integral role, it's a substantive part of this, and without action of the Plan Commission, nothing else happens. You will consider by this resolution entry of an order to the Town Council to keep the matter moving and to the Redevelopment Commission to schedule the public hearing.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Any questions in the room, Commission? Then I'll entertain a motion to, on this matter.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Becker, seconded by Ms. Deschauer. Anything on the motion, any questions?
Mr. Capura, one last item. This is about the first part, the amendment related to the cleanup of the TIF district. The second resolution you'll consider will be about the new parcels that have been annexed, as we just discussed.
Okay. No further questions, roll call please.
Mr. Foreman.
Yes.
Mrs. Dessauer? Yes. Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Kapura?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, Plan Commission Resolution number 2022-2, a resolution approving the declaration, resolution establishing an economic development area and approving an economic development plan. Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, Plan Commission Resolution number 2022-2, a resolution of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, Plan Commission approving a resolution of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, Redevelopment Commission reclaiming an area in the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana as an economic development area, approving an economic development plan for said area and all matters related thereto. Any questions?
No, sir.
No? Being none, I'll entertain a motion on this.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Becker, second by Ms. Deschauer. Any questions? Being none, roll call, please.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mrs. Dessauer? Yes. Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Kapura?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. And that should conclude the Plan Commission portion. I'll turn this over to Town Council.
Thank you, Mr. Kapora. Town Council, item number 1 is Town Council Resolution number 1318. Mr. Sharp, by its title, please.
Resolution number 1318, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, approving an order of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana Plan Commission, approving a resolution of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana Redevelopment Commission, approving amendments to the declaratory resolution and consolidated economic development for the consolidated Cedar Lake 133rd Avenue Economic Development Area, and taking other actions related thereto.
Thank you, Mr. Austin.
This is, in sequence, this is the town council's, place in the consideration of approval of amendment of the 133rd Consolidated TIF District, following the directions of the, or declaration of the Redevelopment Commission and the order of the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Is there a motion by the council to approve Resolution 1318?
Motion to approve Resolution 1318.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Foreman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Sheehan. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheehan? Yes. Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is Town Council Resolution 1319. Mr. Sharp, by its title, please.
Resolution number 1319, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, approving an order of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana Plan Commission, declaring an area in the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana as an economic development area, approving an economic development plan for said area and all matters related thereto.
Thank you. Mr. Austin.
This is a like resolution as the previous one you just considered, except it is pertaining to the establishment of the Route 41 South TIF District.
Thank you. Is there a motion by the council to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Miller. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Foreman. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheehan? Yes. Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes, carries 5-0. Item 3 is Town Council Resolution 1320, a resolution ratifying and approving various matters in connection with a lease with the Cedar Lake Building Corporation Municipal Complex. Mr. Sharp, by its title, please.
Resolution number 1320, a resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Cedar Lake, Lake County, Indiana, ratifying and approving various matters in connection with the lease of certain improvements from the Town of Cedar Lake Building Corporation and all matters related thereto.
Thank you, Mr. Austin.
This is not an outlier. This is, in fact, the jewel of why we're here tonight, at least from your staff's perspective and your consultants. The resolution you are now considering is for the authorization to enter into a lease with the Town of Cedar Lake Building Corporation for the financing of the upcoming projects for each of the police department and fire department. The lease is integral to that occurring under Indiana Code 36-1-10. It is prepared and presented to you consistent with those items. It will provide for allowing financing to be not to exceed $5,900,000 for the police facility and $11,990,000 for the fire facility. That does not add up to what has been discussed here or assessed and studied of not to exceed $16 million, but the lease will provide and does provide that notwithstanding the amount added in total exceeding $16 million, financing will not exceed $16 million by all the other documents that come along. This is the foundation for that financing. It's based upon the cost estimates provided to the town on the concept renderings that have been completed, and it is now before you to kick the next portion of financing along. We're ready for that at this level of the project development.
Tomorrow night, we'll be appointing that building corp, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I believe we have 5 potential members for consideration.
We've reviewed the articles of incorporation, the code of bylaws, and all of the requisite legal documents and information. Attorney Facenda's prepared these documents consistent with law. I've reviewed them, and we've checked off on schedules with our financial advisor.
Thank you. Is there a motion by the council on Resolution 1320?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 1320.
Thank you. Motion made by Mr. Sharp. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Mr. Miller. Discussion?
Yeah, I think that one of the numbers might have been transposed by Attorney Austin. I think you said $5.9 million for the police, but in fact it's 6.5, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Correct.
You're exactly right.
6.5. $6,500,000. Phil Facenda. $6,500,000 and $11,900,000 on the fire. With if the town does both projects, still not to exceed $16 million.
Correct.
Thanks, John.
We have a motion second, correction of the record by Mr. Foreman. Any other discussion? One discussion item, there's a lot of opinions that float around about these sorts of things, and I appreciate them. We have, the next area of growth in this town is pretty well known to be the east side. Between a couple of developers, I think over the next decade, you'll see another 2,000 homes built over here. By no means is this building that's being built the last one to ever be built in Cedar Lake. Eventually, we're going to need a town complex built, which will include town offices, park offices, and some police and fire consideration as part of that as well. So this is not the last, this is the first. But you can't get to the next one until we do this one. And if we look around our facilities in our community as it sits today, we can't add any more. More people is not an option. We're packed in 2 to an office here in Town Hall. The fire department's packed in, the police department, they're doing their reports in their cars. We have no place to really house criminals that they bring in other than a small cage. So these are things of necessity, and the time to debate whether or not it's necessary was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. So these action items are purely based on necessity, but by no means does it change the overall trajectory of future plans to eventually build a new town complex somewhere more centrally located and be able to open up this lakefront for the public use that I think we all envision to see here. Thank you. Any other comments?
I have had quite a bit of debate with quite a few people regarding these matters, and without a doubt, 3 or 4 years ago was the time, and we do have a lot of growth on this side of the lake, and with the economy doing what it's doing, it's been, naturally in the news in the front, and from working with our financial advisors, based on our assessed valuations, there should not be any negative impacts to the taxpayers with this, with assessed valuations, et cetera, so that was reassuring from the financial side.
Yeah, the estimates we had at that budget presentation was somewhere in that $60 a year
Right.
range of overall impact. That was inclusive of the new Park and Recreation Department as well as the debt service on $11.9 million of debt. So, very encouraging numbers that can be sustained even if we see a dip in the assessed value. Any other discussion?
No, sure.
Roll call vote.
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheben? Yes. Mr. Sharp?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Public comment? Second call for public comment. Third call, anything online?
No hands are raised.
Thank you. This concludes the proceedings of the joint meeting. If you wouldn't mind hitting the gavel, the meeting is adjourned.
Mr. President, please don't leave, we need signatures.